52. Move it, move it. Okay, we want to get coat check. Multiple cloisters. Spawning green rooms. Is there a way to get multiple cloisters? Chamber of mirrors, maybe? Which green room makes you more likely to draw green rooms? Greenhouse. Which I swear I've only really seen on the right side. So I'd love to see a greenhouse, which again, standard. Shouldn't be impossible. And yet. I don't think I need the other microchip today. I'm hoping for Tomb. But I need the other microchip, we'll go get it later. Sauna would have been nice yesterday. I should try to draft better about getting her ladyship's chambers. I can influence that one a hell of a lot more than some of the other ones. I just drafted poorly. Oh, I don't have a shovel. Yeah, I'll get one. Dice? Yeah, we'll take the dice. Coupon book, car key. 4 dice. Okay. No items, but we have 4 dice to start. Honestly, not terrible. I don't hate it. But I do want coat check, and I do want a greenhouse. Now I kind of want to get the other... Now I'm going to go get the other microchip to trade. Of course it's the day I get the trading post. Nah, we don't need it today. I'm a stinky butt. If I ever want to do the day 1 challenge, I'm going to have to. I'm thinking for that, it's got to be garage to get in and out of the house. Maybe a day 1 foundation draw, which I don't even know if that's possible. Compass? Nah, we keep the compass. I like the compass. So I got a comp and 4 dice. I'm feeling good. My lovely weighty comp. You like that? That good? No? Okay. Also, if I drain this fountain a bit, we probably have a lot of money there. Give me luck. Maybe that gives me luck. I haven't been doing that for a while. I forgot all about the coin in the fountain. I used to do that every day. Forgot all about it. We need gems for the moment. Give me options though. Corridor, try to get greenhouse over there. Oh. I will need a chapel eventually, but we have money, so let's go commissary. See what I can get. If nothing else, I can get some more stuff to trade. Kind of like all these things, though. I kind of am okay with keeping them right now. Boiler gives us some options. Could just utility closet, though. I find I like this room more and more. The more I play this. Still need security or lab, or office, but that's fine. We'll get one of them eventually. Ooh, would like this to curve left, pretty please. Conservatory. That's tough. How rare is this greenhouse, man? Oh, dear God. I never want to see this fucking room. Drafting studio. It's okay. I never see this room. I would like to see it a little bit more. Dead end though, so let's just go unusual. Veranda I can't get because I have no gems. Let's go conference room. I should probably now go back to the den, get that gem, and move that way. Now I need to get some gems and keys. Treasure trove in the corner does take my last gem. No, I need this. I'd love to get the treasure trove, but I need this. I need the gems. Alright, please don't suck. Fuck. This box is empty. This box is empty. The blue box is empty. This box is empty. Every statement with the word empty is false. This box is full. This box is full. So, okay, so that's false. Every one has the word empty. So I know that's false. How else do I determine if the blue box is empty? If that's true, then that's true, that's false. Or they could both be. That could be true and true. The second statement here cannot be true. Otherwise, every box would have gems. True, false, false, true, false, or true, false, true, true, false, or true, true, false, false. Don't ask me the logic on that one. I know I got it right. Couldn't tell you how. To get our lab, get our experiment going, and do security. Okay with that. Increase lockpicking, lower reservoir, remove a crate. I don't want to lose steps. I guess immediately just lower the reservoir by 1 level. Sure. I don't remember what was it, Blackbridge that lets me access an offline terminal? Whichever one gave me access to an offline terminal, bless it. Because man, is it good. 1 trunk. I don't have a sledgehammer, that's why I haven't opened that. Key card. We want this to be maximum, but definitely unlocked. This key card system is offline. Wow. Now I need to get some keys. I guess we go hallway. Dining room's not bad here. Get our lunch box. I mean, a workshop's okay. We're gonna need the chapel eventually because it's chapel or rumpus room. So I guess we take the chapel now. Okie dokie. Nook for more keys. East Hall so we can get to the conference room easily. Not having to go forever for that, it would be nice, but I am very low on keys. I need a greenhouse. There's nothing special to getting the greenhouse. I just have to get lucky and get it. I do have a shovel. Did I dig in the conservatory? I don't know that I had a shovel back then. Even more redraws. Sure. I think we go for the chess pieces. I can work my way up hallway and kind of go over and work my way back down to try to get her ladyship's chambers. Here we want to go to the right. I just take the office, knock it out. Yeah. Go ahead and spread gold while we're here. Okay. Okay, now I've got to go back to dining room to proceed this way, which is fine. Dining room we can go up in dead end. So I need to go to East Wing Hall. Workshop. Okay. Could see what room spawns here. Could be greenhouse. Really would love to see greenhouse. Coat check. Give me that bracelet. Don't worry about gems no more. Okay. Gems no longer an issue. Now I can spawn as many green rooms as I can get my hands on. We need to start building our observatory back up, and I need the knight. So let's take that. Now we have the nook, the rook. We have the knight here. Bishop in the chapel. King in the office. Pawn in the dining room. So we're just missing the queen again. Show me something beautiful. Okay. That's all right. Okay. Doer? Doer. Okay, we'll take that. I still don't know what that is. All right, her ladyship, pretty please. Oh, the greenhouse. Oh, I want that too. I don't need green right now. I need her ladyship. That sucks. Oh boy. What great items for this run. Okay, well now I gotta work my way up quite a bit and then come back. This is my only way forward, by the way. Cloister. And then pray I get green rooms. Turnip's good. I need the footsteps. I don't want to go that way if I can help it, so we want to go this way. Free rotunda? Free passageway? I mean, they're the same basic room. Take the free passageway. Well, yeah, why wouldn't we? I'm gonna need a kitchen. Need to get some food. Let's take it. That is a morning room, which I think that does something good for us. Okay, we'll save some bananas. Pool is fine. I want to go up here though and keep going north. Take a free rotunda, I guess. I can go down twice, or I can go up one more, then go. I think we keep our options open and go up one more and see what we get. Bottom wall. I'm getting low on keys. Oh, free redraws. Take that. Dining room's open for business. I'm gonna need to get more keys. Maybe getting a locksmith wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. Ask and you shall receive. I gotta take this here. I need keys. Let's see how good our lockpicking skill has gotten, but I'll get a few keys just in case. And secret garden, maybe? I don't know if I really want it. I don't know why I bought the special key. I wasn't really thinking. Oh, we got secret garden. I don't know if I actually wanted it, but I got it. Okay, now I go over and I have maybe 2 chances to go down. Take the aquarium and we hope to get her ladyship's chambers out of here. Oh, why? That's so cruel. Well, now we've got to go for the study. What, do I want more green rooms now? I feel like the hopefulness is gone. Extra gems tomorrow, maybe? Was there any other reason I wanted this room? I really don't recall. Well, we got it in there. Wait. This is a whole door now? I didn't realize that was a whole open door. I've also got the sledgehammer, so we can go back. There was a secondary lever here. I know there's this one. Wait, I have the broken lever. Why did I do this? I don't need to go into room 46 for that. I should have kept that for the casino. Well, I've got 3 coins. Who cares about the casino? Okay. The pool is my only way forward. I think there's like 4 chests in the house now I can open. Might not be the worst idea to go back now and try to get it in case there are more rerolls. There was one in the... Was it in the den? There'll be 2 in the entrance hall. Foundation is not easy to get to. Oh, God, nothing's really easy to get to. Yeah, if we're gonna go back, might as well do it now. There could also be something else in here. I'm so glad I upped my lockpicking skill. Can you imagine what I would be like if I didn't? This looks good. Order house. We don't have a showroom today, though. Gotta try to get a study. Chapel does me no good. I do need to get to the office, actually. Yeah. I think I spread money, so we'll go over here. I can take the foundation back out. Wait. I don't need to get to the office. I need to get to the conference room. I'm dumb. But it's fine. I'm here. Let's just go out this way. I think the plan is I go outside, entrance hall, conference room, grab some fundage, come back around, open boxes, open box, work my way back up to the pool. should be fine. Reservoir level? I only went down 1. I don't think that's enough. I don't want to overdo it, but I guess if I do, I can always pull some water from somewhere else. But I want to get the reservoir to the point where I can take the boat. The fountain is not really necessary. There might be some money and stuff in the fountain, but like I don't really need it emptied. We have too many other ways to go. Alright, I want to see re-rolls, please. I mean, keys are fine. Car keys, less fine. Really not what I was looking for, but that's okay. One more shot at a reroll die. Okay, there we go. That was worth it. 4 dice makes it worth it. There's usually stuff on both sides. This could be dice. Gem. I mean, if we want to get back in there, I guess we can. I've opened, what, this and this? I haven't opened this side. If I open Secret Garden over here, I guess I could get all 3 sides open. Like, what do you fucking do? Sorry. Doing okay on steps. I'm not going to buy bananas right now. I mean, I guess we go vestibule here. This can either dead end or go straight ahead. Sure, I guess. Something I want to make. Rare chance picking high sensitivity locks. Why not? We can also go out this way. So I don't necessarily have to get to the outside from here now. Oh, is the study blue? I think the study's blue. None of this really does a lot for me. Right now, it's literally remove crates, get the tomb, get the study, the library, classrooms. That's kind of where I'm at. Buy out the showroom, but like we have no money, so I don't know. Sauna, I guess. I like having extra footsteps. This can kind of be whatever. Study. That's what I need. Study. 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 Yes! Okay, hold on. We have the study. We have nook. Rook. We have observatory. We have chapel. We have study. We have office. Oh god, we have office. Yes, we do. And we have dining room, right? We have a dining room. I got food there. We have dining room. Okay, we can do that other chess maneuver. We can have even more gems tomorrow? Wait, I didn't get this before. Doesn't really matter. Yes. If I get a freezer, I can thaw in the sauna, grab more gems. That's still dug up. I kind of like the way this looked more before it was dug up. But like, I guess now I'm not tempted to try to redig and be like, oh, am I going to get another key? Yeah. Well, now we open up the other side so I can fill in even more space. I don't even need to rotate because this is the only side I need to pull. I can literally access all sides of that now. I mean, that's cool. Don't need to do any spinning today. A little digging though. Very little digging. But there is food in the conference room again, so that's something. Oh. I don't even know what I'm looking for at this point. A treasure room, I guess? I have coat check, right? I'm gonna recheck the bracelet probably. How many of these rooms do I have right now? Coat check, sauna, and this would make 3. I've got no money for the showrooms. Like, that doesn't really do me any good. I would start tomorrow with 3 keys and 4 gems. I mean, that's... Why not? Anything new in here? Been a minute since we've been in here. Don't really know what those mean, that note means still, but note. This item can be neat. It just doesn't really help me right now. I guess I'm saving some footsteps. I mean, that's cool. Sleep. Not using keys right now because we're still in the timer. If you guys are wondering why I didn't use the one thing. Give me the library. Yeah. Sounds good to me. Curse of Blackbridge by Redford Ewing. We're at the point now where we take photos of all these books. The Curse of Blackbridge by Redford Ewing. Skip ahead if you'd like. Forward. The Legend of Blackbridge is one that's well known to the people of the Grand Realm. Versions of this tale have been passed down from generation to generation. With each new telling, the story has changed, becoming over the years more colorful, more verbose, and as one might expect, increasingly horrifying. However, with so many renditions and unique personal touches, the task of confining and binding this tale to text seemed an ambitious and impossible challenge. Over the course of my research, I have heard dozens of variations of the legend, and while the details would often change, I was surprised how much of the story's heart remained the same. Yet the more I listened, the clearer it became there could never be a definitive version of this tale capable of capturing all the wonder and myth of Blackbridge. In the end, I chose to write down what I felt most authentic, the story my grandmother told me as a boy long ago. Part 1. The Berry Picker from Oris. Many years ago, before peace had become a familiar word, there lived a group of rogues so wayward that the locals deemed it appropriate to call their number the Unholy Hounds. Hound you. Hound you. Right? Prov C, Bo Lee, and Hound you. Unholy Hounds. That can't be a coincidence, right? They were feral outlaws composed of society's worst in a time when society was at its worst, and for each crime that fearful travelers credited to the group, a dozen more lay unclaimed, each worse than the last. For the gentry, however, who often value their coffers more than their companions, no crime could measure more wicked than the group's primary enterprise: high-road robbery. One such member of this so-called band of rogues was a boy of 13 years, Jesper, who had not been lucky in life, having lost 2 brothers to war and parents to famine. In the years of hunger that followed, Jesper lived in a gutter behind a churchyard, relying on the nourishment of scurrying bugs and weeds harvested from the cracks of the alleyway to sustain his pitiful existence. It is not surprising that a child aiming to escape such hardships would take an easy road out. An easy and well-traveled road, paved with temptations, leading out of the city and into the gentry lands where loose purse strings entwine with the strands of salvation and glisten equally with the hope of opportunity. It was this road that eventually led Jesper to the end of his youth, a hidden cave at the bottom of Blackbridge Canyon. It was here that he met his surrogate family and saviors, that notorious gang of godless outlaws known as the Unholy Hounds. Despite the hardened circumstances that had led him to this vocation of banditry, Jesper was surprisingly tender-hearted and was often teased by the group for being too kind for such an ignoble life. For this reason, Jesper was assigned the innocent role of berry picker. It was not just innocence that set berry picking apart from the gang's more wicked undertakings, for it was the only duty performed without the safety of night's concealment. Jesper, no stranger to solitude, did not protest that he alone worked while the others slept soundly, tucked away in the cave at the bottom of Blackbridge Canyon. On one such occasion, Jesper decided to get an early start. He left the cave, berry basket in hand, and set out to the woods before the morning sun had even brushed against the tallest treetops. It was colder in the mornings, but the headway dawn afforded meant Jesper could reach the furthermost berry patches without worry of being chastised for tarrying upon his return. Anything hidden in these pictures is going to kill me. It took over 3 hours on foot to reach his destination, and along the way, Jesper had passed by many a familiar bush, all priorly pillaged and so bereft of berries that one would have to dedicate several moments in earnest examination before finding a single one. Jesper was patient, but even patience has its limits. He was confident that even accounting for the time lost to this long stretch of travel, his efforts would be well worth the pains. Surveying the patches in this new grove surprised even Jesper. The red dots suspended among the leaves seemed as numerous as stars in the skies. Upon seeing such a bounteous sight, he clutched his berry basket tightly and nearly toppled over out of joy. Once he had regained his senses, Jesper quickly made a decision. He would not reveal the location of this newfound treasure. Instead, he would earn the respect of his confederates who, upon seeing his yield, might attribute the success to hard work. Smiling at his plan, Jesper set off to fill his basket and was making steady strides in this task when the sound of thundering hooves interrupted him. A carriage! A carriage is approaching! The thought of it made Jesper freeze. Had he been so enchanted by his discovery that he had neglected to observe his surroundings? How could a roadway be so close? He ducked down and crept toward the impending sound, hiding behind one of the larger bushes nearby. It was only a moment before the sound's source revealed itself. Within 50 paces of where Jesper hid, an elegant carriage with gold trim came soaring around a corner of trees, led by 2 beautiful white horses and conveyed by a stern-looking driver, seated atop the vehicle, flaunting the most sophisticated regalia Jesper had ever seen. It was not just any carriage. It was a royal carriage. Even without ever having witnessed such a sight before, Jesper was certain. The sight had so transfixed Jesper that he stood awestruck, unable to tear away as the carriage approached. The little concealment the bush provided was soon proven unequal to the driver's lofty perch, and upon spotting the boy, he pulled the reins with such effort that the noble steed slid to a sudden halt with precise control. "You boy, get out from behind that bush!" he shouted with a rigidity that betrayed a modest amount of fear. "You startled me half to death coming round the bend of my own drive and me seeing such an unfamiliar face in a place where there ought not be any face." Jesper quickly contemplated running. The man was much older, and his dress was suitable for courtly behavior, not dashing through the bramble and mud. I was picking berries." Jesper raised the half-filled basket up to allow the driver to see the proof of his words. The demeanor of the man suddenly changed. It was a change that Jesper was familiar with. He had many times seen the same stern expressions on the most fiendish bandits melt away when presented with the berry basket. Any suspicions that the driver might have had instantly evaporated, for even the notion of a member of the unholy hounds picking berries seemed farcical. The softened expression even made allowances for a smile. "Berries, eh? Say, you couldn't have picked a better spot for them, could you? I used to pick berries here as a boy." Jesper took his cue to finally step forward out from behind the bush, proudly brandishing his basket. "I know, and what luck I found them. I've only just begun picking, and look how many I have. It would have taken me 4-fold the time back home to procure this number." The driver bent down for a closer look. "And where's your home, boy? It must be quite far." Jesper replied with a scripted response. "A little south of Tanner Fork, just past the burnt woods." "My God, that is far. You couldn't have come all that way only this morning." It was true. Tanner Fork was in the exact opposite direction that Jesper had traveled, and while that response would seem perfectly reasonable in a location closer to Blackbridge Canyon, he could see why it might seem less believable here. "Sir, I have traveled much farther for much less profit. I dare say there is no distance yet made by man that would not be worth undertaking for a prize such as these. Surely you have tasted them for yourself." Jesper felt happier with this response, as it seemed to amplify the man's smile. "In my youth often, but perhaps I took it for granted because I never had to travel very far. And even then my father would always drive us here in our carriage, so I'm ashamed I never had to walk such a stretch to earn an equal reward." It was Jesper's time to smile. "Then let my efforts reward us both today." He raised the basket even higher. "A taste in memory of your youth, sir." The driver chuckled and removed one glove, bending over the seat to reach down to the basket. And at the moment his fingers touched the first berry, the dagger in turn met his throat, cutting through a superficial layer of skin and drawing blood. Jesper caught the man's startled eyes. "And for that taste, I will have your purse, sir, in memory of my youth." The driver's arm had gone stiff, his chin raised and trembling, more frightened than he had ever been before. Whether unable or incapable of speaking, he did not respond to the boy. Perhaps he did not think his jaw could afford to be engaged at this particular time. Jesper let the basket drop, freeing his other hand to probe the man's pockets. "Do not mistake me, sir. I will not kill you if you give me no cause. Though I will admit, the thought of taking your carriage and leaving you the indignity of walking appeals to me." So we didn't actually slit his throat, he just cut it a little. Unable to find a purse in the man's coat, Jesper pivoted to search the seat under him. "Why have you no purse upon your person?" The driver slowly raised his hand cautiously, pointing toward the carriage door behind him. Jesper lowered the knife's edge a small degree to allow the man to speak, which he did in turn softly. There's a lockbox in the carriage. Well, come down then and grant me the courtesy of sparing your life and binding your hands, a concession I assure you of my tender heart, for it would be much easier to slit your throat. The man started to comply, slowly lowering himself from the driver's seat of his carriage. Once down, Jesper guided him away from the carriage to a nearby tree, where he instructed him to get on his knees and put his hands behind his back. Excusing his inexperience, the man indulged Jesper while he figured out how to adequately bind him. The smile and kindness Jesper had seen on this man's face, now nothing more than a distant memory. In their place, cold, dark eyes displaying no emotion. I wonder, should I grant you the same clemency you are showing me? Jesper stopped, surprised by the question, but ignored it. Secured the final bindings, then hastily returned to the carriage. With one hand on the door's handle, he turned back to the man. If there is no lockbox, there will be no clemency. Inside the carriage was surprisingly dusty and unswept, a stark contrast to the elegant and polished golden facade of the exterior. It had apparently been many years since a passenger had enjoyed passage in this vehicle. This all but confirmed what Jesper had suspected. The driver of this carriage was not a liveried servant in the employ of some greater master. Liveried? Any curiosity that this observation might have further produced was quickly abandoned upon seeing what rested under the carriage's back seat. A large wooden lockbox. Despite its hefty appearance, the box was surprisingly easy to handle. Within a few minutes, Jesper had dislodged it from its hold and carried it out into the sunlight. Inspecting the box carefully, 2 observations were made. Totemic symbols found carved on all 4 sides of the box hinted that the box was very old and likely not created by Arindian hands. Pardon me. It reminded him of artifacts from the old world and was presumably crafted in one of the ancient realms. Secondly, the box was secured by a rusted yet robust padlock and would not open easily without a key. Jesper looked over to see the driver quietly observing from his indentured position. Do you perhaps have a key you can provide me to open this box? Without emotion, the driver replied, There is no key to that box. Jesper stood up. Easy enough, then. He headed over to a nearby rock of sizable dimensions and lifted the stone up, carrying it back to the box. If there was ever a time when that lock had been resistant to brute force, it wasn't recent. With one hit, the stone had completely shattered the rusted lock. He bent back down and opened the lid. Inside was an effigy, a crude figure chiseled from stone. Without too much deliberation, Jesper bent down and picked it up, somewhat surprised how heavy it seemed, given how light the box had felt. Having expected to find something more akin to gold or gems, he looked questioningly to the man, hoping to find an explanation. The driver's smile had once again returned. You are cursed, boy, for deadly is the stone. You have opened that which should never have been opened, and you are cursed. Jesper carried the effigy over to the man and shoved it in front of his face. What is it? That's one. Feeling his disappointment rising to anger now, Jesper tightened his grip on the effigy. One what? You mumbling Agentor? Agentor. Give me a moment. That feels like erosion. First... Aj is first. I don't know what Entor is. Not sure. And in your God's name, why have you no purse upon your person? The man did not seem intimidated. 1 pace. He paused for effect. 12 more and you will be dead. He only had a second to flinch before the effigy struck him in the head and put an end to his cryptic ramblings. If there was ever a time when the old man had been resistant to brute force, it wasn't recent. Jesper looked down at the sculpted stone figure, now splattered red. Was it cursed? Was he cursed? He had, of course, heard stories of curses, and had never doubted their validity in the past. But now that he was standing face to face with the possibility of being cursed, his mind pleaded with him to be skeptical. And if he was cursed, what difference would the knowledge make? A dozen more paces would not be enough to find another living soul, to say nothing of the chances of procuring a remedy. If he did not move from where he now stood, he could live maybe another 3 or 4 days. Maybe more, given the abundance of nearby berries. A plan that, if we ignore its obvious faults, might provide additional opportunities for help to come along. But what good would that do? To be discovered here, beside a body, stolen goods in hand, bloated from berries and raving about a curse that could very well not be real. No, it would most certainly be better to face one's fate now, take a dozen paces, and see if life goes on. But Jesper found his legs unable to make that first step. His mind was unable to convince his limb to waste away 1/12 of his life in a single motion. Feeling the desperation sink in, he hopelessly looked about him for a solution. And if, by some stroke of luck, the gods had heard his plea, a miracle materialized before him as he found himself suddenly at the end of a fairy tale. 2 white horses and a carriage of golden trim were beside him, the answer to his immediate prayers. He laughed at his fortune and calculated the short number of paces to the road. 4. Perhaps only 3 if he jumped. He made a quick survey to see if there was anything he wished to grab before taking the plunge. He thought about removing the driver's fancy coat, as that appeared to be of some value, but the additional risk of undertaking such a task too great to chance. And so, after a profound breath, he took his 2nd, 3rd, and 4th steps, though they were quite large. Seated now behind the horses, he reached for the reins and suddenly realized he was still gripping the effigy. If the curse was real, then it would most certainly be better left here. If, on the other hand, the story was fictitious, there might be some appraisal that could be made of the figure. It was, after all, found within a lockbox, whose typical function oft secures objects of value. Having witnessed firsthand the horrors of destitution, Jesper found his mind equally reluctant to allow his hand to let go. If it is cursed, I die. If not today, then tomorrow. And if I die, what care have I? And with that statement said aloud, to the horses seemingly, Jesper took up the reins with confidence. Was the berry picker? Berry picker from Oris. Part 2. Below the Black Bridge. Miller awoke to some light nudging from a familiar foot. Only one person would have the cheek to awaken her in such an ill-mannered fashion. Shaking the sleep from her eyes, she glared up at him in the darkness, but did not say a word. He nudged her again, teasingly, then stepped back into the dim. After taking a moment for her eyes to adjust to the darkness of the cave, Miller remembered. She was on 3rd watch today. Quietly collecting her things and wits, Miller turned as she left, waving to her young friend, who was more than likely already asleep. She crept through the cavern's main passage, careful to not wake the sleeping bandits around her. Like a hero in a book, she often mused. Quietly, she grabbed a bow from the haphazardly formed pile of weapons, shaking the accompanying quiver in the darkness to assess how many arrows it held. She then walked toward the sun-drenched mouth of the cavern, ready to start her shift. How many of you have fallen asleep to me reading this? Let me know. If it helped you sleep, I hope you get to read The Curse of Black Bridge, or whatever this is called, many times. Above her, in one of the few trees found in the canyon, Miller could see that Ravia was already posted. She waved, and Ravia waved back. Calling out to each other was strictly forbidden. Anything louder than a gesture in the canyon was forbidden. When Miller reached the tree, Ravia lowered a braided rope and pointed to the ground behind her. Miller turned, following the finger, and saw a pail of water resting beside a nearby log. She turned back to Ravia, nodded, and secured the pail to the rope. The pail went up first, and in turn, Miller followed. Ravia reached across to grab the water. Miller leaned back to give her space. There was not much room for maneuvering in this tree post, a necessary concession for the concealment the outpost demanded. Ravia tilted the pail up to her mouth dramatically, illustrating how thirsty she had been. Miller laughed silently as water poured out, splashing onto Ravia's face. It was a bit too daring and noisy of a joke, and had the others been around, they would have certainly been scolded for the unwarranted sound. But Miller appreciated the efforts Ravia took to verbalize the silence of the morning. They'd been on 3rd watch together for over a month, and during that speechless time, their friendship had grown into something special. Affection was unsurprisingly scarce among the unholy hounds. She had felt camaraderie before, of course, but intimacy, never. From their elevated vantage, the girls could see both the concealed entrance of the cavern as well as a clear view of the bridge that spanned across the canyon. Black Bridge was the link between the Gentry lands and the northern mountains. I hope it's pronounced Gentry, not like Hentry or something. The overpass that connected Orris and Reddington. To the city-faring travelers of the realm, the bridge was an unavoidable crossing. In the day, the task was to ensure that the travelers passed by without stopping. At night, the task was to ensure that they do. Like most of her band, Miller preferred the night. The biting glare of the sun might be tolerable to farmhands and bricklayers, but to a cavern-housed bandit, it was a source of constant annoyance. In the day, there was no shroud to conceal her expressions, nor to hide her thoughts. She felt exposed. Ravia touched her elbow and pointed up. Miller, striving to suppress a budding smile, subtly shook her head in response. There were many signs that the unholy hounds used in lieu of words, but the two of them had developed an extended vocabulary. Gestures quietly forged in the shared solitude of their month among the branches. She watched as Ravia shifted, placing her palms flat on the floorboards beneath them. Miller knew what she was trying to say, but shook her head a second time. It was often more fun to pretend not to understand. Ravia rolled her eyes and turned away, looking back to the canyon. Squinting through the leaves, the two girls held still, watching and listening. It was not long until Miller, too, heard the sounds of approach. Ravia held up two bent fingers, and a few moments later 2 men emerged from the bridge's southern end. They were dressed in a familiar uniform. Long gray coats with black facings, white waistcoats, and black tricorn hats. Tricorn, right? They belonged to the local patrol, the Black Guard. Although not an everyday occurrence, their presence at Blackbridge wasn't an unusual sight. It typically indicated an important traveler's impending passage across the bridge, information that the girls would promptly relay to their leaders as soon as the coast was clear. But this report, while exciting, was rarely acted upon. In Miller's 5 years in the Unholy Hounds, she had never once seen a carriage taken in open daylight when the Black Guard was nearby. The men had nearly reached the bridge's north end when Miller heard the horses. Faintly at first, but growing louder with each passing moment. Ravia's eyes met Miller's, the same concern mirrored in each other's expression. This did not sound like the typical carriage, cautiously approaching the bridge to cross. That just sounded weird. Instead of the familiar crunch of the high road's gravel, they heard the harsh clattering of hoofbeats against stone. Both girls quickly redirected their attention downwards, looking through the foliage. The sounds were not coming from the high road, but from the canyon itself. The horses were coming from below the bridge. In an instant, Miller had knocked an arrow and drawn her bow. Go! Ravia was gone before the whisper had even left Miller's mouth. The young scout was already sliding down the bank below, racing toward the cave. There was no road that ran below the canyon. There was no reason for numerous horses to be approaching their cave. There was only one reasonable conclusion, and both girls had reached it instantly. The base had been compromised. This was a Black Guard attack. The moment the horses came into view, Miller let loose her first arrow. She was surprised to see a carriage. She'd expected cavalry. Before she even finished processing that thought, her second arrow was in the air. Without a trail, it would be unthinkable for a carriage or to traverse such rough terrain, yet she watched as the wheels jolted over the rocky riverbed. A third arrow was now in flight, and there would be no need for a fourth. The driver slumped over just moments before the vehicle dipped into a small ditch, slamming into an embankment. The force of this sudden halt immediately shattered the front two wheels and catapulted the driver from his seat. Utterly confused now, Miller quickly glanced over her shoulder to see if any horses were also approaching from the rear. Down in the canyon, the entire horde of the Unholy Hounds came spilling forth from the earth as if hell itself had suddenly sprung open. The group seemed even more bewildered than Miller, half asleep and toppling over one another in a desperate attempt to engage an unseen enemy in combat. Miller could see Ravia among their number, the only one looking up at her. Her expression was chilling. There would be no need for a silent gesture to convey what they had both now realized. They had made a mistake. The gang's chieftain, Jeffrey Heartslasher, led the others, cautiously approaching the crashed carriage like a suspicious fox would near a baited trap. There were no words exchanged as the group crept forward in customary silence. A dozen or so paces in front of the wreckage lay the far-flung driver, an arrow protruding from his broken body, and beside him, a blood-stained effigy carved from stone. Miller was inconsolable. Jesper had always been her favorite. He'd always shadowed her in the night, clinging to the hems of her every move, the way a child tails behind an older sibling. Tender-hearted she had always called him, though deep down she had known that wasn't quite true. Tender-hearted she'd always called him. His appearance of gentleness concealed a raw, resilient durability that emerged in the most perilous of situations. He had been a flower among the nettles of this cave, but he still had thorns, honed by a grim past and 100 hands of misfortune. They buried him in the darkness, in the back of one of the larger cavern rooms. He was interred with a berry basket and a silk handkerchief that he had treasured. The mysterious effigy that they had found beside him served as a distinguished gravestone, a marker that stood out as somewhat special among the rows of similar swords marking neighboring plots. No one spoke, not even in whispers. There was nothing to say. Miller awoke the next day to a thunderous shaking and rattling of the earth, a far cry from the playful nudging of the previous day. She strained to adjust her eyes, but the choking sting of stirred-up dust caused her to flinch. Panic was also in the air. The sound of scurried footsteps and clattering feet filled the space around her, but even in alarm, the silence was louder. What was it that sounded so strange? Miller closed her eyes tight and used her feet to guide her along the passage. The whispers around her were getting louder, and intense voices could be heard ahead. Louder speech than she had ever heard spoken in the canyon. A growing dread grew as Miller approached the mouth of the cave, her eyes now open, wide, despite the dust. Shouldn't it be day? Miller felt a hand in the darkness, pulling at her. It was Ravia. The two embraced, and Miller did not need to see her to understand. Ravia placed 2 bent fingers against Miller's cheek, and with that touch against her face, Miller felt the same sinking feeling from the previous day. 2 bent fingers confirmed what Miller had suspected. The girls had forgotten to relay one critical piece of information to the others. An hour or so later, the screams began. Blood-curdling cries of hopeless desperation. Captain Fodrick Lee, of the Blackguard, looked down from the ridge of the canyon to the collapsed entrance of the cave. "Ah," he grinned. "Now they speak." The end, I guess. And that is The Curse of Black Bridge. That was a read. That was certainly a read. Okay. I need to drop the emerald bracelet off at the coat check. And I need to get down to the chess puzzle. So, to get there, I go antechamber, workshop, pool. Kitchen, passageway, cloister, great hall, hallway. Dining, chapel, nook, workshop, east hall, coat. Okay. Quite the walk back. Anything new in here? 37 billiards solved. $109 gold for a plushie. Furnace, lavatory, dormitory. Never do this stupid grade again until it becomes an A. I will get an A. I will get an A. I'm going to go back and review the answers, review the questions, and I will go in so prepared next time. I will. And nobody can stop me. Nobody! Except for maybe the curse of Black Bridge. Ooh. I think I'm good on steps. I need to go... Nope, down one more. Now it's dining room, chapel, nook, and straight up. So Lydia is horse. And that makes you Vea? Yeah, the order is definitely different in the note. That's the wrong way. Definitely want to see the tomb. Unfortunately, it's not going to happen today. It's very late and I have to end this soon, which is sad. I mean, there's no way we check anything other than that. Yeah. Now where do we need to go? We need to go to the chess puzzle? Foundation, then leave? I can't do a single run of this game. Oh. Well. I knew I'd pay the price for that one day. That's not where I want to go. I believe this is quite the ways out, but it is okay. So I think we need to do one more exchange, unless this has to be back-to-back days. We might not have gotten it. We'll find out. I really hope this is correct. If this isn't the solution, if I've done all of this and it doesn't actually do anything, and I'm back to square one on castle, I might be very sad. Okay, we have a nook, re-up. Okay, we have bishop pawn. Okay. Observatory. Oh no, above the bishop we have... Is that king or queen? Office is king. King, and then to the left of the king we would have a knight. And where is our study? Two up from the king. Okay, we currently have... We had that, right? Now I've got to go king. Rook stayed... Oh, lordy Lou. Okay. Oh no. What is all of this then? Oh, sweet Jesus. No. 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 No, 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 no. No! Okay. No, not yet. I need to do this. How do I get yellow here? I go green, boop, 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 boop. I don't remember what orange does. Purple wants to go down. What the hell does orange do? Turns into what's ever nearby. Okay, so I need to turn orange into black. Okay. I can send an orange down here, which I don't think does me any good. All these I gotta turn them all black. That's gonna suck just like a little bit, you know? What does that do for me? I could turn this purple, but I don't think I want to. I need these to turn black. There's not much else I can do on this. Like, woohoo! I guess. Doesn't really do anything for me. That gets me 4 black. So then can I... I need this to go down, actually. But if I get it to go up, I can do that. Then... Got it. Patient figure, a reckoning great. What the hell is this place? 8 puzzles to solve to give me vague something. Okay. I don't remember White's gimmick. Purple can go down. I can turn orange black. But how do I get black? Wait, what did that just do? Reset me. I feel like I just changed something. I don't know what I changed. Get this to the middle, but then green in the middle doesn't do any good. Let's boop, boop. Then we're back to where we started. So I do think I need to get one of the blacks down there. So maybe I go boop. Then I can kind of fuck around with orange a little bit like that. Oh. Okay. That gets me one of them. Then I need to move it down, which that wouldn't do. But I do this, move that down, and this. Okay. Sullen Cross is 5 stars a line. I'm gonna solve all of these if I can. Unknown Underground. Okay. Pink. Pink rotates. That's not unhelpful. I think I want that like that. And then boop. Let's... That one was pretty easy. And then sky above a brilliant sun. So these are probably out of order. I have to figure out the correct order of this shit. Oh, Lord. Okay, halfway there. Can I not get black here and pink there? That's not really what I'm hoping for. I guess that works. An Ares court where the king now lays. think I have to do that. And then what? Uh-oh. That was not ideal. Might have screwed that one up. Okay. This goes down. I can't quite get that one, what I want to be. Unless I do that. I move this down and I need to turn this one black. Okay. I don't know how I screwed that up the first time, but it's okay. We got it this time. On the sacred hour, that time-worn phrase. Oh, God damn it. Is that 1:30 again? Mamma mia, this a game. You know, guys? You know? Let's try that. Rotate. I guess I'm good with the rotate ones, which seems not right. Will a youth approach with empty arms? What the hell does yellow do? Yellow goes up. Okay. Yellow goes up. Without gifts, nor gold, nor mannered charms. The black key's lying with the last king of 8. A patient figure, a reckoning great. A sullen cross is 5 stars align, and in sky above a brilliant sign. An Ares court where the king now lays. On the sacred hour, that time-worn phrase. Will a youth approach with empty arms, without gifts nor gold nor mannered charms? The fuck does that mean? Do I have these in the right order? I think that is the correct order. 8, great, align, sign, lays, phrase, arms, charms. The black key is lying with the last king of 8. A patient figure, a reckoning great. A sullen cross as 5 stars align. And in sky above a brilliant sign. An Ares court where the king now lays. On the sacred hour, that time-worn phrase. Will a youth approach with empty arms, without gifts nor gold nor mannered charms. What does it mean? There's 2 missing. If they ever existed. I don't have the lever to try to build the big smashy. Can I not get back down here? Like, do I have to redo the chest thing again to get back down here now? The Black King, like, I can't flip this over, right? The Black King is lying with the last king of 8. The Black Key is lying with the last king of 8. Patient figure, a reckoning great. A sullen cross is 5 stars align. I mean, the cross, you could argue if there's one in the middle, would be 5, like on the observatory. Is it 4 or 5? It might only be 4 for that one, but... And in sky above, a brilliant sign. An Ares court where the king now lays. On the sacred hour, that time-worn phrase. Will a youth approach with empty arms, without gifts nor gold nor mannered charms? I don't know, man. I don't have anything else I can do today. So I think I'm just gonna call it and see what happens tomorrow. If I can get right back here or not, I will find out. But whatever I need to do, I don't know. And I don't think I have the stuff to do it. Pray for me. Pray for us. Who are you? This looks like a track. There's nothing I can interact with. I don't know. I just read a novel and solved 8 Morajai boxes, I think. I think that's all she wrote for me tonight. What does it have to do with the 109 add 6 poor Lorette? We got work to do. That's all I know. We got work to do. And we'll get back to it next time. We're calling it a day. It's too late. I can't be here. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this, leave a like. Let me know what you think in the comments. Oh, what have I gotten myself into this time? Stay tuned for the next one where we'll see if I made a horrible mistake by calling it a day. Until then, see you guys.